I can say, man, if I had more of this, then that outcome may have been a little bit different. Of course, man, it has to be doing things like being able to build a fire, make shelter, being a good hunter, a good fisher, being a good trapper. Certainly it's one of these things, right? Isn't it? Come on now. Hey, welcome to the channel, friends. As always, man, I'm stoked to see you. And so today we're going to be looking at another answer of what is the most important survival skill that we need to master. So this answer came in from Tony Hildebrand, and if you haven't checked out his channel, man, make sure you do so. I'll leave a link down in the description below as well as right up here. Dude has a lot of amazing skills that he's trying to share and to pass on. And he's just a really good all-around dude. So we're going to talk about this because I think it's something that we need to talk about more often. And I think a lot of times, if you go and you do a search, survival skill, best survival skill, you're going to come up with all kinds of answers, whether you're looking on Google or YouTube. And you're not going to find the answer that we're going to talk about here today, and you're not going to, just like you're not going to find the previous answer that we discussed as being the single most important survival skill. And I think there's probably not a single one, right? Situation dictates. But I thought this was a good enough of an answer to share its own short video response to. Right. So what is that one thing that we just need to become more proficient at? Right, I think too many times we do look at the big things, right? The food, fire, water, shelter, first aid, navigation, communication, maintaining a core temp, being able to protect ourselves and those who are in our charge. And these are all really big, important things. But I don't know if any of them are the single most important thing. Because without what we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes, none of these things matter. None of them matter. So what is that number one most important thing that we need to hone and master in our life and in our walk? And I think when we peel back and we start looking at things and trying to understand root causes, that what we're going to find is that this answer that we're going to share right now spreads across more than just, quote unquote, survival scenarios. And that's why it is so important. You think about it when it comes to work, whether it's a safety issue or whether it's an HR issue. Think about your relationships that you have outside of work. Think about your hobbies. Think about all the experiences that you've had. And I think that if you applied this skill, this fundamental, I think you can see maybe in your own life. I know I do in my life, that when I apply it to myself, I can say, man, if I had more of this, then that outcome may have been a little bit different. And so this number one most important skill is situational awareness, SA. We abbreviate it in the military to SA. But having situational awareness is key, man. It's paramount. It's having the ability to perceive what's going on in your surroundings right now and to do more than just be an observer. This is something that Tony and I have talked about in the past extensively, about what it means for us to be up into the mountains and in the wild. Having that situational awareness to us means that you're participating in something, hearing and seeing more and beyond what is directly in front of you. You're engaging on a deeper level, listening to the subtleties and to the context. When I think of so many things in my life, if I just had a little bit more situational awareness in, things could have turned out the way I'd intended and hoped for. And then I do a lot of case studies on people who are become lost and endangered out in the wild, whether it's the day hiker, the through hiker, right? Thousands of times every single year, reported cases are of people who become injured, wounded, or lost. And in time after time in these, when you look at and you realize that that single moment of when this happened, that spark that flew out from their life, that decision that they made was all rooted in something, and it was the lack of situational awareness. They became disoriented. They lost their SA. They turned around on the trail and they went left, and when they should have gone right, they lost their situational awareness. They decided to drink or eat something that they shouldn't have and got food poisoning. They lost their situational awareness. Right? Time and time again, history has shown that this is the thing. This is it, man. This is like the number one skill that we need to have. So how do we practice, how do we hone, how do we master our craft of having situational awareness? And I'm sure that there are countless of different ways, and I'll share a few of my own, but I am looking forward to hearing yours. How do you sharpen your SA knife, right? How do you make yourself better at this? It's a tough one because it takes a little bit of patience. It takes a little self-reflection. Requires some introspection. You know, one of the things I've shared earlier was just a key that we use on patrols, and it's something that I try to walk with in my life on a day-to-day basis, not just when I'm out in the woods, but when I'm just patrolling life. And that's the 4 steps that we take during a short security halt. That's to stop, to look, to listen, and to smell. When we do these things on a regular basis, it can help sharpen our SA, right? Because we're taking an intentional pause, and instead of trying to own the conversation, instead of trying to have ownership of the moment and control it, we stop and we look. We listen. Find the subtleties in the context. Looking for each individual thread in the fabric. Right, so that's just a way. Looking forward to seeing your thoughts down in the comments below on how to master your ability to have situational awareness, how to hone and sharpen that craft. And whether or not, you agree that it's as important as Tony and I think that it is, as well as just whatever thoughts that you might have. So let's do this. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Hey, look, if you enjoyed the content of the video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can stay up to date on some future content. Man, as always, until then, you stay stoked.